BYD is going to change the North American market, with their eyes on Canada aiming to grab a larger share of the electric vehicle market. Let's explore how BYD's entry could change the game for electric cars in Canada and beyond. China's EV giant is knocking on North America's door, eager to grab a bigger slice of the electric vehicle market. They've got their eyes set on Canada, and whispers of their plans are starting to circulate. Now, BYD hasn't shouted this from the rooftops just yet, but they've been quietly chatting with Canadian dealers. They're exploring the idea of opening dealerships, making their EVs a common sight on Canadian roads. This is all happening while Canada is figuring out if they should slap tariffs on Chinese EV imports. But BYD isn't just dipping its toes into North America with Canada. They've already made a splash in Mexico. Last June, they delivered their first batch of 100 yuan plus models. They just launched their first pickup truck, the Shark PHEV, down there. It's a beast that's about 40% more efficient than your typical gas-powered pickup, and it can go 62 miles on electric power alone. Word on the street is that BYD is close to sealing a deal to build a plant in Mexico. That's over 1,000 jobs right there. Mexico's not just a big market, it's also a launch pad for exports. But what about the United States? Well, BYD's been a bit coy about that. Earlier this year, their America CEO Stella Lee said they had no plans to sell passenger EVs in the US, citing the country's confusing politics. It's like they're tiptoeing around the US, trying not to wake the sleeping giant. But by setting up shop in Mexico and possibly Canada, they're essentially sandwiching the US between two EV-making factories. Now here's where it gets interesting. Some experts think BYD could use Canada and Mexico as a sneaky way to slip into the US market. It's like coming in through the side door when the front door is locked. Some US automakers are dragging their feet on new models, pushing investments further out. Ford CEO Jim Farley even said that if they don't launch a profitable EV in the next 5 years, they could shrink into just North America. Ford's working on a low-cost EV platform to keep up, but it won't be ready until at least 2026. So, will BYD seize the moment and make a move? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the North American EV market is about to become a lot more interesting. Canada is about to get a new neighbor, and they're bringing electric cars. This Chinese automaker has been knocking on the government's door, filing papers and having chats about setting up shop in your neck of the woods. They're not just looking to sell their passenger EVs, they want to build a whole new business. Now, that's all well and good, but what about those tariffs? Well, Canada's been mulling over that too. They're concerned about China's state-directed policies and lack of rigorous standards, and they're not alone. The US and EU have already slapped special tariffs on Chinese EVs, but BYD is not easily discouraged. Canada's Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, is considering a surtax on Chinese EVs. Well, China's been churning out EVs in massive numbers, flooding the global market. This move, however, seems to clash with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's goal of getting more Canadians into EVs. Now, BYD isn't in Canada yet, but they're no stranger to the game. BYD's strategy is all about low prices. They've got a heavily subsidized cost structure and supply chain backing them up, thanks to the Chinese government. But entering the Canadian market isn't a walk in the park. BYD will need to clear our vehicle safety standards, which could take years. Plus, setting up service centers for maintenance and repair is no easy feat. Flavio Volpi, the president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, has a point. He says these tariffs could level the playing field for our domestic auto market. If a Chinese-made EV costs around $15,000, a 100% tariff would bump the price up to over $40,000 for Canadian consumers. Now, BYD's not just any automaker. In the fourth quarter of 2023, they overtook Tesla to become the leading EV seller in the world. So while BYD's entry into Canada could mean more affordable EV options, it's not as simple as that. There are hurdles to clear and tariffs to consider. It's a complex situation, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. The EV market is about to get a lot more interesting. Is Canada ready for BYD's electric revolution? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content.